अंजनीय 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 हनुमान अंजनीय 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 हनुमान जय वीर हनुमान अंजनीय हनुमान जय वीर हनुमान अंजनीय हनुमान अंजनीय 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 हनुमान अंजनीय 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 हनुमान श्री राम जय जय राम 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 अंजनीय 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 हनुमान अंजनीय 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 जय हनुमान जय वीर हनुमान अंजनीय हनुमान जय वीर हनुमान अंजनीय हनुमान जय वीर हनुमान अंजनीय हनुमान अंजनीय 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 हनुमान अंजनीय 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 हनुमान अंजनीय 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 जय हनुमान अंजनीय 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 हनुमान अंजनीय 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 हनुमान अंजनीय 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 हनुमान श्री राम जय जय राम श्री राम जय जय राम श्री राम जय जय अंजनीय 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 हनुमान अंजनीय 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 हनुमान अंजनीय 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 बोलो अंजनीय 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 हनुमान अंजनीय 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 हनुमान अंजनीय 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 हनुमान ओम जय जय श्री हनुमान अतुलित बलधाम हेम शैलापरिहं धनुजवर कृशानुं ज्ञानिनामाग्रगण्यं सकलगुणनिधानं वानराणामधीशं रघुपतिप्रियभक्तं वातजातं नमामि ओम श्री हनुमान स्वामी वाहनम ओम श्री हनुमान स्वामी आसनं समर्पयामि प्रेम से बोलो श्री पवन पुत्र हनुमान स्वामी बाबा की पंचमुखी हनुमान स्वामी बाबा की महादेव 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 हरे 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 महादेव Hare 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 प्रेम से बोलो श्री उमापति महादेव की हरे 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 महादेव हर हर हरे महादेव जय शिव हरे हरे महादेव हरे 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 महादेव जय जय शिव हर 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 महादेव हर 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 महादेव जय जय शिव हर 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 महादेव हर 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 महादेव जय 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 शिव जय Lift your voices tonight. Har Mahadev. Har 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 Mahadev. Har 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 Mahadev. Jai Jai Shiva. Har 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 Mahadev. Har 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 Mahadev. Om Namah Shivaya. Har Har Mahadev, Har 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 Mahadev, Jai Jai Shiva. Har Har Mahadev, Har 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 Mahadev. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Har Mahadev. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. I want to hear your voices louder than mine tonight. Om Namah Shivaya. 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 Har 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 Mahadev. Har 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 Mahadev. Jai Jai Shiva. Har Har Mahadev. Har 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 Mahadev. Har 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 Mahadev. Har 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 Mahadev. Jai Jai Shiva. Har Har Mahadev. Har 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 Mahadev. Namah Shivaya. Namah Shivaya. Namah Shivaya. Bolo. Namah Shivaya. 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 want you to take a very brief moment and look into the date 31st of December 2018. 1 year ahead. What are the things you would like to reflect on in the next year and say that I have achieved what I wanted? But I also want you to remember, looking forward, that while we set dreams and while we set goals and while we set aspirations for ourselves, don't be fooled that it will be a smooth road. Don't be fooled that there won't be obstacles and the surasas and the lankinis coming in your way. But I want you to still see yourself, project yourself, have a vision for yourself and your family, and know that once the mind can fathom it, the man, meaning you, the person, can achieve it. And therefore, tonight, as we prepare to share the very beautiful message for 2018, let us offer that vision. Let us offer that, whatever it is you call it, a dream, at the feet of Bhagwan Shiva. Om Namah Shivaya. 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 Har Har Mahadev. Shivaya, Hari Om Namah Shivaya.
Om Namah Shivaya, Hari Om Namah Shivaya.
Om Namah Shivaya, Hari Om Namah Shivaya. Har Har Mahadev. Om Namah Shivaya. Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya.
Om Namah Shivaya,
Om Namah Shivaya. Namah Shivaya.
Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya.
Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Bolo.
Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya.
Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Har Har Mahadev.
Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya.
Om Namah Shivaya. Hari Om Namah Shivaya.
Om Namah Shivaya, Hari Om Namah Shivaya.
Om Namah Shivaya. Hari Om Namah Shivaya.
Om Namah Shivaya, Hari Om Namah Shivaya.
Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya. प्रेम से बोलो श्री उमापति महादेव की जय. Do you remember? Do you remember what God said to you when you were in your mother's womb? The petition that you made to Bhagwan Sri Vishnu while we were each making preparations to see the light, to see the mother, that entity that we once heard of while in the mother's womb, making petition to come out of this fluid environment where the pressures, where the growth sometimes seemed uncomfortable. The petition was made to Bhagwan Sri Vishnu, that Lord, allow me to go into this world so that I can fulfill my mission. And every single one of us, we petition God to come into this world, whether we remember it or not. We did that. And therefore tonight, as we stand or we sit before the transition between the year 2017 and 2018, we begin tonight as I ask you to look on the screen. Do you remember what God said to you? Many times we go through life and we go through this journey and we wonder, am I making the best? And when we look back on the year behind, there are many celebrations, there are many milestones that we can smile about, things that we were very pleased with our achievements, whether it's singularly or collectively. But there are also moments when we look back, you realize that some of the things that you wanted in the last year, possibly you may not have achieved. So tonight I begin, I ask, do you remember what God told you? For those of you who can see me on the Singhasan this evening, do you know what I'm holding in my hand? It's echoed on the screen. You can see it, yeah? The designer of this pencil had a design intent. And therefore, when he gave us, for many of us, we take this for granted. It's a simple pencil, isn't it? Do you remember what God said to us? That what's truly important is what's inside. This pencil simply can be referred as two parts. There's an external, and then there is the lead on the inside. What is important about this pencil? It is what's on the inside for it to be useful. Dear friends, tonight, I want you to remember that this outside, this being that we have, that's similar to the casing of this pencil. It's important. It is the carrier. It allows something to happen purposefully. But for many of us, we spend time only focusing on the casing. We spend time focusing and looking at the external. The external is our looks. The external is what type of presence we have when we walk into a room. The external is our style, our charisma, our confidence, our mannerisms, our valuables. These are all the externals. They're important because we can identify this pencil based on the external. But for many of us, we carry ourselves through life identifying with only the external of this presence that we call Krishan or Navin or Amit or Kavir. We identify with the external, whether it's how we carry ourselves or how we look or where we live or what we have. And therefore, tonight, I remind you, in the analogy of this pencil, God said to you and every one of us, He says, remember, what's truly important is what's on the inside. Secondly, God, in His very beautiful response to every child making the petition to come into this world, God said to us, that unless what is within us, unless that comes out, you cannot truly make an impact in your world. Dear friends, God has sent us, every single one of us. He has placed a music inside of us, figuratively speaking, and therefore we must allow that music to get expression. Many individuals go to their graves, they go to their place of resting, and they take that music, they take that talent with them, and they never allow what's inside to seek and to receive expression. Today, our children, as adults, as young adults, as even elders, we place a premium on education. For many of us, we're anticipating in the year 2018, children, what are your goals? Is it SEA? Is it CXC or CSEC? Is it CAPE? Is it university level? What are you anticipating from an education perspective? You see, in the Latin language, there's a word that the word education comes from. And in the Latin language, that word is educare. What is it? And it means to bring out the virtues of your soul. It means being a genuine person. Many of us, we spend time thinking that an education or improving our lot in life is only about the external, the academics. And therefore tonight, remember the words of God, that unless what is within you comes out, not the outside, but what is within you, unless that comes out and seeks expression and receives expression, you cannot truly make the best impact in life. If your personality is so charming, you can impress people. But when you are genuine in how you transact with others, you will inspire them. When you are charismatic, you will impress people. But when you are a person of character, you will inspire them. What's on your inside, friends? When you have lots of valuable things, we can impress people, can't we? But unless we have values on the inside, only then we can inspire them. And as I take you to this very beautiful message, I want to remind you of the story of the gentleman by the name of Thomas Edison. Thomas Edison, when he was a little boy at the age like Christian and Nigel, one day he was sent home from school with a note. And that note he was given to give it to his mother. And when his mother at home opened a piece of paper, she looked at it. And he says, "Ma, what is it? What is written on the note?" And the mother opened a piece of paper and she said, "Son, I received a note from your school teacher. And the note says, your son is very special. And therefore today we're sending him home because his abilities are beyond what the school can deliver. The school is too small for him. And therefore he is too intelligent for a space like this. Why don't you give him the personal care and teach him and keep him at home?" Thomas Alva Edison, many years later, when he became one of the greatest inventors that even today when we reflect, he is one of the names that stands out. And one day after his mother passed away, he went back to the mother's home. And while he was cleaning up, he went into the drawer and he opened one of the drawers and he found this piece of paper. And when he opened it, tears came to his eyes. Because when he read the piece of paper, the paper actually was written on it, "Your son, Thomas Alva Edison, he's a dunce." This is what was actually written on the paper. He cannot learn anything in the school and he's wasting our time. Why don't you keep him in your home and try some other way of teaching your son? When Thomas Edison read this note, he cried. And he took up a pencil and he wrote on that very same paper, "Thank you. For today, the very same Thomas Alva Edison, he is dull. He may have been dull, but he received the guidance and the coaching of a woman who was so genuine in what she delivered. Today, I am proud to acknowledge and pay tribute to my mother." Dear friends, this story is not about Thomas Edison. This story is about his mother. Because his mother, she was not charismatic. His mother was no very educated person. His mother wasn't someone who had a lot of valuables. But his mother was a genuine person, a very genuine person that gave him and inspired him to become the best that he could have been, even when the environment around him gave up on him. So this evening, the second message that God has sent to us and is reminding us that what is within you, unless that comes out, you will never make an impact in this world. Dear friends, the inventor of this pencil, what is important is the lead on the inside. Well, do you remember that unless you go through sometimes the sharpening in life, what is within you will never come out? I'm asking you, have you ever felt like this pencil, walking around thinking, look at me, I am a pencil, meaning the analogy of whoever you are. I have something on the inside, and I have something to give to this world. My value is on the inside, and I am proudly carrying it. And you show the world, and someone holds you in their hands, and they utilize you for something purposeful. And then, have you ever felt that way? You're broken. Sometimes life makes you feel broken. Sometimes life makes you feel that you're not valuable. Sometimes life squeezes you or even breaks you. And you are like this pencil, now wondering what to do. Because what's valuable is still inside. But the world sometimes doesn't seem to appreciate you. Sometimes our own loved ones will be the ones that may possibly hurt us. And therefore, as we're carrying the value within us, and we're enjoying the world and participating in the processes of life, sometimes you end up like this pencil, where you are broken. What do you do? What do you do, friends? You take out a little sharpener, and you go back to the very same pencil, and you start sharpening. I'm deliberately showing you this tonight because it is only a matter of time that the broken pencil, when life abuses you and when life chastises you and when life seems to break you, all you require is some sharpening. And when you go through that sharpening, guess what? It is only a matter of time that the lead and the value that is inside of you will come out and it will express itself again. What you must be prepared to is to be sharpened. And to be sharpened requires something very, very interesting. And I would like to share with you this very powerful verse. It's an ancient Sanskrit slok. And I want you to repeat it after me. Children in particular, if you remember nothing tonight, remember this mantra. It says, Kaka Kshetra, Kaka Cheshta, Bako Dhyanam, Shwana Nidra, Tathaivacha, Swalapahari, Grihatyagi, Vidyarthi, Panchalakshanam. This very powerful Sanskrit shloka tells us this. You know who is a Vidyarthi? A Vidyarthi is the person who is a student of life. But it's not just a student who wants to succeed. That student who has a desire to succeed. You know who is that student tonight? Every single one of you. You are a student of life. You are Vidyarthi. But for that Vidyarthi, that student, to succeed, there are 5 qualities that you must have. Are Pancha Lakshanam means the 5 qualities. Let's look at these very 5 qualities in a very simple way. The first, it is Kaka Chesta. What is it? You know what Kaka Chesta means? It means to try again and again, like a crow. Kaka Chesta. Look at this little fellow on the screen. One day there was this crow, very, very thirsty. He is flying around and he's so thirsty, he came across a deep goglet. You know what a goglet is? Like a deep barrel with a narrow neck. And he sits on top of the goglet and he looks down and he sees water. He's thirsty. He wants some of this water. But guess what? The water level in the barrel is only quarter way up. So he is sitting on the rim of the barrel and he's looking down, seeing the water. He is thirsty and he wants it. He is what is he? He is a Vidyarthi. He is a student of life, but he's thirsty for something. In this instance, literally for the water there. And he knows if he jumps into the barrel, he doesn't have the wingspan to fly out. He will trap and die. But he is looking down and he wants it. And therefore, we're reminded, Kaka Chesta, are children of God, we must try again and again until we achieve the goal like this crow. You know what the crow did? He looked around and he started picking up beakful of fine dirt, and beak by beak, or beak fill, he started putting the fine sand into the barrel. And over time, guess what happened? As he filled the barrel with the fine aggregate, the sand, the water level, it rose. Unless you are prepared to be sharpened. You see, sometimes life, we feel like that in life. We want something so badly, but we're seeing it. But it seems to be a little out of our reach. It is there, you can almost taste it, but for some reason, you can't achieve it. And therefore, one of the first lessons about being a student, a thirsty student of life, it is to want it so badly that you are willing to try and try, no matter what it is, to continue to get that which you want. That is what is known as Kakachista. What is it called? What is the second lesson in this mantra? Bhako Dhyanam. What is Bhako Dhyanam? Wow, you guys are very brilliant. You know what a swan does? A swan very gracefully swims on the lake or wherever that water reservoir is. But a swan is sitting at the top, but he or she has eyes to see down into the water. And there that swan will see many small fishes. Hundreds, maybe thousands of small fishes. But the swan will not attack those small fishes. You know why? Because what the swan is interested in is in the big fish. And the swan knows that if it attacks, it goes down and disturbs the life and the activity underwater and goes after maybe one or two small fishes, it will create such a disturbance that the big fish will not come. And like this, the swan study with full concentration. These words were written literally for students, but I want you to expand the meaning tonight, because we are all students in life. And there are things that we want, there are big dreams that we want, there are big goals and big aspirations that we want in our life, don't we? And therefore, we must learn, just like the swan, that don't get carried away with the small fish. You know what the small fish is? The small fish are the little disturbances in life. Sickness, accidents, human disappointments, conflicts between brothers and sisters, parents and children, among your neighbors, among your social circles. Those are the small fishes that sometimes we get so carried away and we get locked into attacking those small fishes that we spend our life on the small things and we lose track of the bigger goals in our life. And we're reminded that when we transact with this world, be like the swan. The swan is Bhako Dhyanam. Don't get so disturbed and so sidetracked with the small things, but make sure that you keep the big goals in your mind. Today I saw on Facebook a young lady posted, I am going to write an autobiography in 2018, a story of rags to riches. And therefore, if you're going to dream, my friends, dream big. And therefore, the next part, the third quality in this mantra says, what does it says there? Swana Nidra. You know what swan means? Dog. Nidra means sleep. It says, cute, isn't it? Oh, so sweet. What does it mean, like, be a dog? Swana Nidra. How does a dog sleep? A dog does not fall sound asleep, doesn't it? It is almost as though that dog sleeps with one eye open and one ear cocked. Isn't it? Because the moment the dog is asleep, but the moment some activity happens in the yard, or in the neighborhood, guess what? Both goes up. Both will go up rather. The eyes will open and there is alertness. And therefore, the third guidance here is Swana Nidra. If you want to be a student of life, of course you must enjoy rest. But in this translation, it is not literal. It means that sometimes we lose the opportunity of learning in life. Life always presents us an opportunity to learn. There's always something new for us to learn from people, from surroundings, from the world around. And therefore, we must not be so busy doing our own things that we miss the opportunity to learn from others. Swana Nidra means live this world. Sometimes you need to be passive, but don't be so passive that you are not alert enough to learn from your world. The fourth message of this mantra says, what is it called? Alpa Hari. Alpa means less. Hari means, ahar means food. Are beta, eat less. Baba, you're short eyes what it mean? Well, you see, ahar means food. But to the tongue, ahar is food. To the eyes, ahar is this world of sight. To the ears, ahar means what we listen to. And therefore, we are reminded that we must be so disciplined in transacting with this world. You know, this mind is like a reservoir. It attracts. It is almost as though the mind is a tenant for what the sensory world feeds it. And therefore, don't treat your mind like a cheap apartment by allowing anything and everything to reside there. The rent should be high. And therefore, if you treat the mind as high-value real estate, being fed by the sensory objects of this world, dear friends, Alpahari means be very discreet in terms of how you interact with this world. You may not be able to filter the world, but you can filter how you process the world that you're interacting with. And the final part of this mantra, it says, Griha Tyagi. What is the word? It means to be away from home. You remember in the good old days, when the child was of age and he was christened, you know what our great-grandparents used to do? They used to send the child into Gurukul Ashram. They would select a good Guruji, and that child will leave the comforts of their home. Have you ever seen Janev Sanskar being performed? You know, one of the Sanskars, one of the traditions, it is the Mamu of the child will hold him after he takes the Sanskar with a danda in one hand and the kamandal in the other, and will escort him, take him for a walk. You know what that symbolizes? That he is now of age where he is leaving the comforts of his mother's home, mother's and father's home, and he is now going out to learn. This is what this means. Griha Tyagi, that you must be able to be away from home. What does this mean in the year 2017 going into 2018? Does it mean leave your home? That's not what it means. It means being able to come out of your comfort zone. Many of us want things. We want great things in the year 2018. We want to be better than where we are today, but we are not willing to pay the price. And therefore, if we understand that we have to come out of our comfort zone, sometimes we have to come out and take risks, take calculated risks, stretch ourselves beyond what we're accustomed to. Are Griha Tyagi means home sweet home, away from home. It means literally that you have to find a comfort, you have to find growth or seek growth in the things that you are uncomfortable with. And this is what Griha Tyagi, that is what it means. Dear friends, as we conclude, what a very cute guy there. As we conclude, do you remember that when you write, guess what? Most certainly you will make mistakes. And I want you to look at me now. What do you see here on this? What do you see? Somebody says a chicken scratch. What do you see, Atma? What do you see, Vinay? Balram, what do you see? Looking like a ball. Samaruji, what do you see? A black spot. on a white paper. You see, thank you for that. Because many of us, when we look at what is on this that I'm showing you here, many of us will focus on the black dot. But how many of us recognize the white paper that it's on? Because when we get an opportunity to interact with this world, when we get an opportunity to allow what's on the inside to get expression, guess what? For those of you who can see, what am I writing? Huh? What did I write? Value X? Well, I made a mistake. And therefore, guess what? We're reminded that when we make mistakes, the inventor of this very beautiful piece of instrument that is called the pencil, the inventor deliberately put on the other end an eraser. And it is a reminder that as we go through our journey of life, dear friends, and the children of Keshavam, it is a reminder that we will express ourselves. Sometimes we will be focusing on the dot only, the black dot, and miss all the other opportunities around us because we are looking in a myopic way at life. And we're reminded that sometimes when we give up our what's inside, we will make mistakes. Life will break us sometimes. People will break us sometimes. But remember, we require sharpening to continue giving the best of what we have to this world. And therefore, when you continue to write and to write your life story and allow this world to feel your presence, you will sometimes make mistakes, but that's okay. Dear friends, as we conclude tonight, when you make your mistakes, it is okay. Don't repeat them. Correct the mistakes and keep writing your life story. So as you look ahead to the year 2018, remember, what's truly important, please finish it for me, it's what's on the inside. Remember that what is within you, only when it comes out can it make an impact on your world. Remember that unless you go through sharpening, remember the Vidyarthi meaning you are a student in life. Sometimes you have to go through Kakachista, Bakodhyadam. You have to go through all of these things. That is what is required for us to be sharpened in life. We require sometimes we need to be broken for us to find our true value. I know that personally, and I'm sure if I interview you, you will also tell me your story in moments in your life when you also were broken. But when you use that brokenness in your life and you dug deep, you found the dheer to go deep within you to find that strength and to come out again, you will blossom like you've never blossomed before. And therefore, the very final suggestion tonight is when you write and you express yourself to this world, don't be afraid of making mistakes. If you make a mistake, be proud of your mistake, but you can only be proud when you learn from the mistake. You make the correction and you keep on keeping on. So tonight, as we conclude, remember, let 2018 look ahead and see yourself on January 31st, 2018, and make sure that when you navigate from today until at least 1 year from now, unleash the true you that is inside of you. Don't be afraid of expressing yourself. Go out and write your life story the way you want it. Prem se bolo Shri Umapati Mahadev ki, Umapati Mahadev ki. Namo Narayanaaya Narayanaaya. Om Namo Narayanaaya
Om Namo Narayanaaya Om Namo Narayanaaya
Om Namo Narayanaaya Om Namo Narayanaaya Namo Narayana Namo Narayana Namo Narayana Namo Namo Narayana Namo Narayana Namo Narayana Namo Om Namo Narayanaaya Narayanaaya Om Namo Narayana Narayanaaya Om Namo Narayanaaya Narayanaaya Om Namo Narayanaaya Narayanaaya Narayana 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 Namo Narayana Namo Narayana Namo Narayana Namo Namo Narayana 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 Namo Namo Narayana Namo Narayana Namo Narayana Namo Om Namo Narayanaaya Narayana Om Namo Narayanaaya Om Namo Narayanaaya Narayana Om Namo Narayanaaya Narayana Namo Narayana Namo Narayana Namo Namo Narayana Namo Narayana Namo Narayana Namo Namo Narayana Namo Narayana Namo Narayana प्रेम से बोलो श्री उमापति महादेव की Jaya Devaya Digambaraya Tasai Nagaraya Om Shrim Hrim Klim Durgati Nashinyai Mahamayayai Swaha. 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 Radhe Radhe Japa Karo, Krishna Naam Ras Piya Karo. Radhe. I will not sing a song unless the sponsor of the song gets up and dance, right? Radhe Radhe Japa Karo, Krishna Naam Ras Piya Karo. Radhe Radhe Japa Karo, Krishna Naam Ras Piya Karo. Radhe Radhe Japa Karo, Krishna Naam Ras Piya Karo. Radhe 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 Japa Karo, Krishna Naam Ras Piya Karo. Radhe Radhe Japa Karo, Krishna Naam Ras Piya Karo. Radhe Radhe Japa Karo, Krishna Naam Ras Piya Karo. Radhe Radhe Japa Karo, Krishna Naam Ras Piya Karo. Radhe Radhe Japa Karo, Krishna Naam Ras Piya Karo. Radhe Radhe Japa Karo, Krishna Naam Ras Piya Karo. Radhe Radhe Japa Karo, राधा देगी तुमको शक्ति, मिलेंगी तुमको कृष्ण की भक्ति हो, ओ मिलेंगी तुमको कृष्ण की भक्ति हो। राधा देगी तुमको शक्ति, मिलेंगे तुमको कृष्ण की भक्ति हो, ओ मिलेंगे तुमको कृष्ण की भक्ति हो। ओ राधे चरणों में शीश झुकाया करो, चरणों में शीश झुकाया करो, राधे राधे जपा करो, राधे राधे जपा करो, कृष्ण नाम रस पिया करो, राधे राधे जपा करो, राधे रस पिया करो, राधे राधे जपा करो, कृष्ण नाम रस पिया करो, राधे राधे जपा करो, कृष्ण नाम रस पिया करो। राधा रानी हे महारानी, महिमा उनकी सब जग जानी हो, ओ महिमा उनकी सब जग जानी हो। हे राधा रानी हे महारानी, महिमा उनकी सब जग जानी हो, ओ महिमा उनकी सब जग जानी हो। ओ राधे कृपा दृष्टि बरसाया करो, कृपा दृष्टि बरसाया करो, राधे राधे जपा करो, राधे राधे जपा करो, कृष्ण नाम रस पिया करो, राधे राधे जपा करो, कृष्ण नाम रस पिया करो, राधे राधे जपा करो, कृष्ण नाम रस पिया करो, राधे 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 जपा करो, कृष्ण नाम रस पिया करो। जय राधे 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 हे राधे राधे हे राधे राधे। जय वृंदावन में, ओ यमुना तट में, ओ बंशी वन में, ओ कुछ गली में, ओ पान गली में, ओ बाकी बिहारी, ओ प्यारी प्यारी हमारी प्यारी, ओ प्यारी प्यारी हमारी प्यारी, ओ राधे 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 राधे, ओ राधे राधे ओ राधे 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 राधे, 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 अरे बोलो राधे 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 राधे, ओ राधे 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 राधे, राधे राधे ओ राधे राधे, ओ राधे 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 राधे, ओ राधे 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 राधे, ओ राधे 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 राधे, राधे राधे जय श्री राधे, राधे राधे जय श्री राधे, बोलो राधे 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 राधे। Come on, other than the musicians, everybody should be standing 1 minute before midnight. Radhe 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 Jai Radhe 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 O Radhe Radhe O Radhe Radhe O Radhe 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 O Radhe 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 O Radhe 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 Jai Shri Radhe 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 Jai Shri Radhe 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 Jai Shri Hare Bolo Radhe 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 Jai Shri Radhe 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 Happy New Year, everyone.